So, over the past few weeks, I've talked about stimulus and guaranteed income programs. I've talked about Social Security and pandemic EBT. I've talked about unemployment and the recession and inflation and almost everything in between. But one thing that you guys have reminded me I have not touched on in quite some time is additional relief for families or these child tax credit payments. Now I want to touch on that today because according to most recent reports, there are still discussions for additional assistance so that families can be taken care of in 2022. Well, the main thing that's been discussed for relief for families, there's actually two things. The first thing, and again we could throw three in there. One would be additional support and forgiving or premiums canceling student debt, right? That's one, I'll throw that one in there. The second one, let's provide checks to families for gasoline. Now again, that's one that's been discussed, but it's not one that's really been pushed because it's only really been talked about right now about tune of $100. That's it, 100 maybe $300 as a gas voucher. But that's really it, and the logistic behind it and getting this to the right people. And really it's just too much. So that's not really being pushed any further, but it's still in the discussions. The third thing, and possibly the biggest one, is the child tax credit payments. Now here's what I can tell you. Due to expiration of the child tax credit payments back in December, the reports as of a little over a month ago were saying that 3.7 million children fell back into poverty. And again, this is all due to the fact that Democrats were believing that they had the support to extend this program, which is one of the reasons why they only ran it for 6 months. The problem is they didn't have the support. Well, according to the most recent reports, the only way Democrats can extend the child tax credit payments is to count on the Republican senators. Now there isn't, especially over the past couple of years, there has not really been a time where Democrats can count on Republicans or vice versa. Now the problem that we're seeing right now and that Democrats are going to face is that Republicans are not going to go out of their way to help Democrats provide a benefit that would actually hurt Republicans in the midterm elections. And the reason for this, according to multiple experts, is because Republicans know that if they just pretty much maintain the status quo, then we're going to see Republicans take over the House and the Senate after the midterm elections. So come 2023, the House and the Senate will be run by Republicans, and we have a president who's Democrat, which is going to cause a lot of issues, But not only that, multiple economists, they predict that passing an extended child tax credit payment and it right now, this could only cause additional inflation at this time. That would hurt. That would definitely hurt lower and middle income households. And so that's one of the reasons why, according to Democrats, they can't pass the child tax credit payments because it would cause additional inflation. It would also cause the national deficit to run up because they would have to eliminate other social spending programs in order to fund this one. But here's something that you may not know. I've talked about this before but spent quite a while is Republican Senator Mitt Romney out Utah. He presented a spin a while ago, but he proposed a bill called the Family Security Act. Now this would actually provide up to $1,250 per month to your children. The way it would work is the child between the ages of actually negative 4 months or 4 months prior to your child's birth and up to the age of 6. So right before they turn 6, the 5 years age, 5 years old, 5 years of age and younger would get $350 per month. Anybody that's between the age of 6 and 18 would get $250 per month. What's the total of $1,250? So let's say you have 5 children are between the ages of 6 and 18, then you would get $1,250. Let's say you have 10 children are between the ages of, let's say, between 0 and 18, you would only get $1,250 per month. Now I say only because technically you'll be missing out on quite a bit of money, but at the same time there's a maximum amount. Now here's what you need to understand. According to report, Democrats don't have time to waste. It's because of this. that they are looking into multiple different options to actually provide relief to the American people, and child tax credit payments are one of them. Student debt forgiveness is another one, but they also want to ensure that something big happens. Something big has to happen really over the next month or two, or else Democrats don't really have much to campaign on. And if you watched the video that I did this morning, you would know that President Biden has been out there providing speeches. He talked in Portland, he talked in Seattle just last week, and he's really been kind of all over the place. But what he is doing is he's talking about and pretty much touting the bills that were passed over the past years, not anything current. Now, anything that's going to happen going forward, he's been applauding the results or the efforts to Democrats from the previous year. Now, I honestly believe the Republicans know that Democrats are trying to pass something they have to. So what we're going to see is a major, pretty much political game where Republicans are going to block whatever bills comes to the floor. Because if it's not proposed by a Republican, and Republicans can spend it that way, that this was proposed by a Republican, this is a Republican bill that Democrats help us pass. Republicans are not going to do that, and I can give a win to Democrats this close to the midterm elections because they know everything that has gone on over the past year and what President Biden is going to negatively impact the Democratic Party. They understand that. So here's what I can tell you. To answer your question, will families be taken care of in 2022? The answer is possibly yes. I say possibly because there is no guarantee. Just because some Republicans want to see the child tax credit payments, as well as many Democrats, it doesn't mean they're going to have the votes. It doesn't mean they're going to come together and pass it. It doesn't mean they're going to have the time, doesn't mean they're going to have the new potential revenue, whether it's from taxes or something else. It doesn't mean they're going to have any of that. And we know that moderates and Republicans do not want to see a national deficit increase. Most Democrats say they don't want to see that either. But at the same time, if it comes down to deficit spending versus seeing the American people suffer, most Democrats are gonna say, well, we need to deficit spend. The problem is the whole thing, everybody will suffer eventually because of runaway inflation. So what I can tell you at this point is we'll see $1,000 or $1,250 monthly checks for children, possibly, but the likelihood is it wouldn't happen in 2022. It would happen after the midterm elections, so just keep that in mind, that there's a lot of stuff being discussed. There's a lot of people out there pushing that, yes, we're getting $2,000 checks, don't worry about it. We're gonna get these $350 child tax credit payments. Yeah, they're coming, don't worry about it. Just wait and they're showing up in your bank account. No, that's not what's happening. Okay, I just want to be honest with you guys. I want to be transparent. One tell you that's actually happening. What's actually happening is there are discussions, but the discussions might not lead to anything. So as we know more, I promise I'll come back and share all the latest news and updates again. Just want to thank you guys for watching.